powered by BenQ. And starting to the top left, it's the one player that always has a new strategy up his sleeve. Maybe a cannon rush, a timing attack, or it's just a standard build. This is for Team MVP.
MVP Tails.
MVP Tails, he is famous for his builds.
Yep, really, really smart player, often the sniper for his team. And he's up against a player to the bottom right, the Terran who won his TBT. He is
Axiom-Acer.
Great performance in the last game that he played. And Keen is a tough opponent. We saw that, of course, in his first game. The macro and the multitasking was exceptional, but Ryung, he mastered his opponent, took him down. Good start. I feel this is exactly what they needed. This team match is not going to be easy for MVP. We talked a little bit about them being like the favorite if you look at the lineup, but if Axiom-Acer gets a bit of momentum build up, then they have a really good shot at taking them again.
Yeah, and I think it's important. Ryung is kind of like, I don't know, if you want to put it in terms of chess pieces, I feel like Ryung is like the castle, the rook. He's the one who's just like solid and firm, and he's going to be able to defend you. He's the one that you kind of rely on. If you lose him, all hope is not lost, but he's like this big foundation for your team that you kind of have to make sure that you don't lose early on. He's got to do some real damage here.
Double gas already being taken by our Protoss player, and this is already a very interesting start into the game. This is exactly what we expected from Tails.
Yeah, Tails is one of the first players to use this strategy, and you talked with Naniwa about it quite a bit. Naniwa popularized this as well, using the 2 probes in each assimilator to get the maximum efficiency.
But you can really see that we have a bit of a tech build going on, and this is what I expected from Tails, being very aggressive or trying to hit a timing here, not just going into a standard opening where he wants to get an expansion
right,
as fast as possible.
If you get these early gases out, it allows you to be a lot more aggressive with your mothership core, and we may see Tails try to use it to scout and maybe even hit a time warp on the SCV line on this map. It's a 2-player map.
I would love to see something overly aggressive, maybe even Dark Templars once again. The Inca Memorial build, I would love to see that.
Yeah, that could be something we see. Dark Templar are a little bit scarier now because they cost 100 less gas to get out.
I don't really believe that it's going to happen, but it's always exciting when it actually does.
Yeah, something else that we've seen a lot in this matchup is Blink Stalker all-ins with the Mothership Core, but I don't think we're going to see that because he gets the Mothership Core right away, he targets the SCV with it. In fact, will he block the Nexus? No!
Oh, wow, that was close though. You know what I really love? I really love to see players going for early aggression with double gateway and having a Mothership Core with them as well. To grant vision on the high ground and then just trying to do something with the Stalkers. This has been shown several times at MLG and it can be so strong to open with that. But what he does here is just go into an early expand of 1 gate, and with the Mothership Core that he get out really fast, he will now get the energy so that he can always use the Photon Overcharge, the Nexus Cannon, if he wants to be defensive because he is being attacked.
Yeah, and this is something that allows Protoss players most of the time to do crazy things like this. You know, if you go for the Robo and the Twilight Council in Wings of Liberty, and somebody scouts that, you're probably going to die. But if you have that Mothership Core out this early, you've already built that energy up, you can do crazy risky things like this. That's a lot of gas, and he doesn't have any additional gateways, so he's going to be very low on those gateway units.
Exactly, he's on 1 gateway, that's all that he has at this point, so not a lot of units to defend this, but the Mothership Core, it's a little bit underused, I feel. Most players, for example, take the matchup against Zerg. Most players don't utilize the new options that they have just yet because the timings are not really known that much. Forge First really works so well, so why not go for that? And this is now something that we see. We see the DTs, we talked about them earlier. It's just a new strategy, a new timing that Tails has here.
You would never be able to get away with this otherwise without the Mothership Core.
Exactly.
Ryung could kill him with like 8 Marines, but with the Mothership Core there, it's a very different story. And I feel like what we're going to see with the DTs is maybe even a fast third base. He's going to try to keep Ryung occupied, use that Mothership Core.
Keep in mind that also the Dark Shrine, Dark Templars in general, getting this entire tech out is a little bit more... It's just cheaper than it was before.
Yeah.
You had to invest so much gas before this, and now it's just a little bit cheaper. It makes it more viable. Even if you don't kill your opponent, don't do too much damage, you still can transition and you're not that far behind in the game anymore.
Yeah, and what's really cool about this is that 100 extra gas that's involved in the Dark Shrine is now put into the Mothership Core, so it just kind of adds up and stacks up in a way. We can see Tails has figured this build out quite nicely. He's only going to have 2 gateways when this hits, And those Marines are not going to be enough. He will have 2 Dark Templar right into the main base as soon as he wants them. Uh-oh, more Marines coming, though. I think he's got wind of this.
Yeah, he might. He might just have his spider senses tingling here and telling him what's going on. He doesn't see it, though. Now he knows. Here comes the warp in, and now he knows also that there are 2 DTs.
Yep, 2 DTs coming in. He has a Widow Mine here.
He's immediately splitting his DTs. He wants to make sure that one scan cannot detect both of them, but there's not enough energy just yet.
He's going for the Marines. This is so smart. If you go for the Marines and you can eliminate too many of them before the scan is there, then it doesn't matter. You can't kill the DTs if you don't have any units underneath there. Oh, this is so bad for Ryung. Double Forge going up back, and he opts to go for this instead of the 3rd Nexus.
Double Marine is moving in, and there are not a lot of units to the top left to defend for Tails. He needs to send them over. Double Forge going down for him. Just think about how greedy he plays here. He doesn't have a lot of units to defend, but he's just going for the Double Forge anyways. He has only 2 gateways. There's nothing else.
It looks like Tails has kind of called his bluff here on the double drop. Now he sees what's going on. He uses the Nexus Cannon here, and there's nothing inside there, so there's nothing to be stressed about, but he does force some wasted energy.
Yeah.
Stem going down now very late here, and this is a big problem, of course, for Ryung. I think that if Ryung just gets his forces together and realizes the opportunities he has for timing pushes, especially after he forces his opponent to waste that Mothership Core energy, maybe he could hit a timing here because he does have those medevacs out.
But now we have 4 gateways on the way, which will put him up to 6 in total. +1/+1 has been started before we have the first engineering bay in the game for our Terran player. Nope, the first one is actually there, and the +1 has just been started, as I say it. So, Robotics Bay, even follow-up. It's just interesting to see how many transitions Tails is already opting for.
Yeah, he's being very cost efficient here, not making any additional DTs. He wants to force some energy to be used again on the Nexus. It's very clear that he's doing this intentionally. This is not, he forgot to put units in his medevac. He's just trying to waste that energy as much as he can, but Tails is not falling for it. He's not using it unless he absolutely has to.
It's going to be dangerous, though, or very exciting to see when we suddenly have, let's say, Widow Mines in those 2, and yeah.
And he hesitates and
exactly.
starts to
Tails looks at the minimap and is like, well, you're trying to fake me out again, and then suddenly they actually drop.
Yeah, that could be a disaster waiting to happen. Starts Colossus, waits on the range, gets charge instead. He will be able to start range in just a minute as soon as he gets the resources for it. But Tails is pretty significantly ahead in this game, and Ryung is supply blocked quite heavily right now, so he's not even able to produce.
That is definitely an issue. He's getting now more barracks. We have him with double research on Stim and the combat shields, but Tails is really doing a good job, even using the hallucination now. You don't have to research that anymore for your sentries, so you can use it right away, which is why he has them now to use as a scout.
And seeing no 3rd base for him right now makes him feel like, okay, let me just wait for my Colossi before I take my 3rd Nexus. I don't need to get the Nexus up right now.
He is going into +2/+2 already, and his upgrades will be so significantly ahead. He will most likely be on +2/+2 when the Terran player only has the first attack upgrade.
Just look at this timing. He works everything out with Stim, just like, you know, I predicted he was going to go for this attack, but you can see the gateways for Tails finish up just in time. As soon as the gates are done, he has those zealots. If he didn't have those zealots, Ryung could have actually killed the Colossus potentially with this force, but now, with that buffer, that extra group of units that comes from the gateways, he has enough to defend.
Tails can start an attack with +2/+2 if he wants to. The upgrade advantage that he will have at this point in time is enormous. This is very dangerous for Ryung. He's trying to drop, but there are already a few units in the main base to make sure that this is not going to do too much damage. The problem is, it's actually a double drop.
Yeah.
Oh, and he didn't really see it.
You know, he's quote-unquote saw it, but he didn't see it, you know?
He saw the shadow, but on the minimap to spot this, I don't know.
Reacts quickly, though, and he does have the better upgrades still. And those zealots are too much, and oh, a bad little pickup here by Ryung. He does finally get out correctly, but he look a lot of damage taken already.
That was close.
Well, that medevac is not coming back anytime soon.
He could use the speed boost. He could have used it, but he didn't. And now +2/+2 is nearly completed. And also range is lining up nicely.
Ryung doing some stem moves here. He expects there to be a 3rd Nexus, but there was not. So he kind of stems over, wastes the stem, but if there had been a Nexus there, obviously that would have worked out really well for him. Tails just continued to scout with his hallucinations, knows there's no 3rd base, and he says, well, if you don't have a 3rd, I don't need one either.
This upgrade advantage is really scary. This is really scary right now. It's on +2/+2 against 1 attack upgrade. That's how far ahead in upgrades the Protoss player is. He adds +3/+3 immediately, and we don't even have an armory, if I'm not mistaken. I might have missed it here, but no, I don't think we do.
I don't think so either. He's got that factory landed, adding some Widow Mines, which is really cool. It's another way to use the factory rather than just kind of having it fly around and looking silly. He's actually proxied it. He's landed in the middle of the map, and he's making Widow Mines out of it, which will become a problem. He lost that Observer. He has to make another one, which means less Colossi on the field. He is making that transition to Templar tech, though.
Yeah, he has the Templar Archive. He gets the first Templars. He can use feedback now.
This is a great way to zone the Colossi. You see the Colossi have to step into Viking range for a minute here.
Yeah, just for a second trying to pull that off. The Vikings get their shots off. But it's very dangerous to just wait here. He's trying to take a third base and get the better economy. He needs an armory though. Those upgrades, if 3-3 finishes and he's on 1-1, that would be too much, and this is exactly why he pulls the SCVs now. He knows this is maybe the time that he has where he can do damage.
Yeah, he's doing that lazy boy push. He pulls the SCVs. He's like, this is it. I know you're way ahead of me in upgrades, and you've got this new tech coming out that I have not enough resource to make the Ghost Academy for. There's not enough time.
Did he cancel his third base?
Yeah, he did. He canceled it. He hit the cancel. He pulled his SCVs. And look at the resources for Tails. He's trying to get those extra gateways out just to hold a little bit longer.
He need to make it work now.
He needs the Mothership Core. There he goes. Drops it down. Here we go.
Here we go.
Good position for Ryung, in fact.
Their position is really good, especially the Vikings. You can't really target them down. Here come those SCVs. The Marines with the Solar Step trying to lure the army into the range of the Widow Mine.
He wants to pull back and use that Nexus Charge in the next round of Warpins at his gateways. Now he goes in again with a few more Zealots. Feedback goes down the Medivacs, and it looks like Ryung just does not have enough here.
Ryung is being pushed back at +3 is nearly done too. Still a lot of resources here for the Protoss. He could use another round of Warpins with the 1,300 minerals that he has. 13 potential Zealots here, and he is making this work in his favor. Look at that photon cannon.
Yeah, it just has such an incredible range, and you know, you have to decide, do you target the Nexus or not? You target the Nexus. In this case, he was way too much DPS. He doesn't have the army to do that. Widow Mine burrows here in desperation. He wants to target on the Templar, but he doesn't actually get that off.
And now only 23 SCVs left for the Terran. He's on 2 bases, +3 about to finish. The upgrades for Ryung are at 1-1. He is so far behind in this game. I don't think there is any chance for him to withstand the next attack of Tails as soon as the MVP Protoss decides that it's time to move out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's got the production. He's going to have 3-3. He can start the shield upgrade and a Nexus. He can do all these things. This is really smart. Zealot will actually be killed here. Oh, targets the probe instead, which is actually smarter.
Do you think it was a target? The probe at the point of burrow was the closest unit.
Yeah, I suppose it could have entered the threshold first. If it was a target, it's smart though. The Widow Mine has a mind of its own, man. That Widow Mine was smart. Whether it was Ryung or not, the Widow Mine made the right choice.
Yeah. And there they are. The upgrades are done. We don't have an armory for Ryung.
Yeah,
and Ryung is just moving in. Ryung knows that waiting would not be an option. Waiting would be waiting for certain death.
Ryung is a tree looking at a chainsaw right now, man. He's actually about to get cut down.
The Widow Mine is trying to run away from the... Not gonna happen. Bye, my Widow Mine.
A drop is all that Ryung goes for here. It's not going to be enough to save him. In fact, he uses his boost so prematurely that with the cannons here and a good feedback, he might actually be able to kill both of these Medivacs. Not enough energy, though.
Yeah, there they go. And no. Yeah, the energy isn't enough, but the cannons alone repel the drop point.
Shields are started. He has full upgrades in his arsenal. The third base is so easy to defend. And Ryung, he's not even making SCVs. He's using all of his resources on Marauders. He wants to hope maybe his second attack can make something work here.
Maybe with the second one he can pull through, and he's pulling the rest of his SCVs. He wants to make this work somehow. Storm is being researched now. The thing is really we don't have Vikings anymore.
Yeah.
And against 3 Colossi, it's always a bad thing. Of course, Marauders have a certain chance of stimming in and taking down Colossi, but only if the Protoss player screws up his positioning.
Right, and with the extra cannons being added at the third, he's got Storm on the way. I don't think Storm is going to be ready in time for this, but it will finish maybe during the fight.
This is a positioning issue.
Exactly, and he's got the cannons with the extra Nexus cannon if he chooses to use it. And he cannot win this fight. He goes for a good flank, though.
Yeah, the flank is good, but the Zealots are there. They charge in, and now we have the perfect positioning. Here comes the Mule, and the GG.
And MVP takes the lead again. Tails, with a very unique Dark Templar drop, actually did a lot of damage, forced SCVs off the line.
A very good opening that we have here for him. He added those gateways very late in the game. He relied a lot on the strength of the Mothership Core and the Photon Overcharge. Did this very well, got an early lead in the game, and then he ran with it.
You know, the scoreboard, though, does look a little bit similar to yesterday. I wonder if we're going to have now a situation where you keep having players traded, which is always the most fun thing to watch.
Oh, it definitely is. Ryung is a little bit disappointed here. He wanted to get more than 1 kill, and now the team is, of course, down 2 players already. Alicia lost, and Ryung the same. Now it's going to be a question who's going to be the next player.
Yeah, for me, I feel if I were in this choice, I would be talking to 2 players right now, and those 2 players are actually Hart and Scarlet, and Which one of you guys feels more comfortable playing against this matchup? I know he just took out a Terran, but it was kind of a build order situation where he had a really cool, unique strategy. This time it's our map. Do you want to send another Terran out against Tails and say, you know, I think I'm just better at Tails in the late game, it's on my map? Or do you want to send someone like Scarlet out? Is Scarlet confident against this matchup?
He could send MMA out too. That's of course also an option that they have currently. But I feel in this scenario, if you have the map choice, you could also very well go for a Zerg player to try to turn things around here. But it's of course a matter of confidence. When we talked to the team, it was and asked, okay, who do you think is going to play today? They all answered, well, we have no order or no like strategy in terms of, okay, these people are coming out for sure. It's all about the confidence and the situation in the match.
Right.
Now we are 3 games in, and this is a scenario where someone has to step up and has to be like, okay, I'm confident against Tails, I can take down this guy. If I have the map choice, I know exactly what to do in this matchup on this map to kill them.
I really think that with the lineup being as small as it is, it's all about confidence right now. If I'm the coach, I'm looking at these players and saying, who wants it? Who's actually ready? Which one of you guys wants to take him on here? Because that's who I want to pick.
It's also the question, who's going to be the ace?
It's Hart.
Hart.
I think Hart is a great choice here. He's actually he's the Terran master of build orders.
And Tails is just laughing. Not at the choice of Hart, though. I think at this point he didn't even know who he's playing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now he does. And the MVP coach is still talking to his players. So Hart is coming out as the 3rd player for Team Axiom-Acer. And we will see who's going to be the 8th player today.
I like this choice to use Hart. He's just a player, master of build orders. He has so many all-ins up his sleeve, but recently, and we even talked about this earlier, he's one of the players who's kind of switched up his style a lot. Now he's going for the late game oftentimes to throw his opponents off.
It's another Terran player, and Tails has shown us that he really knows his builds quite well. Will he use the same build? I don't really think so. It's something that you show once and then you are like, well, I don't want to use it 2 consecutive times. What is Tails going to do? What will Hart try to counter him, to take a win for Axiom-Acer? We're gonna find out after a short break. In 5 minutes we are back with the GSTL Season 1 2013 with Carl and Wolf. Stay tuned.
I'm a realist, that's all I deal with. Respect and truth, that's all I build with. A child of the universe, my religion is life and it's just as valid. I strive for balance.
My way might not be your way.